When you hear the word loner, what pops into your head? Probably someone kind of withdrawn, maybe a little sad, right? Well, what if that whole picture is just wrong? Today, we're going to flip that script entirely. We're going to explore how choosing to be alone it can actually be a source of incredible strength. Let's dive in. So here's our game plan. First, we'll bust that huge myth separating alone from lonely. Then we'll look at the type of personality that really thrives in solitude, get into the psychology of why we need it, uncover some pretty surprising benefits, and then wrap up with how you can embrace it yourself.
All right, first things first. We've got to tackle the biggest misunderstanding of them all, the one that gets in the way of this whole conversation.
Society sends a pretty loud message, doesn't it? That being alone is, well, something to be fixed. It's often treated like this temporary waiting room you're in before you find your crowd. There's this deep-seated idea that being constantly connected is the goal. But is it? Is being alone inherently a problem? This right here shows the difference so perfectly. On one hand, you've got loneliness. That's a feeling that's forced on you, it's draining, it's that negative feeling of being isolated when you don't want to be. But then, on the other hand, you have solitude. And that is a choice. It's time you actively seek out to recharge your batteries. They're not even in the same universe. So let's put a pin in exactly what we're talking about here. We're talking about positive solitude. This isn't about hiding from the world. Nope. It's about intentionally choosing to step away so you can reflect, create, and just restore your mental energy. It's a deliberate, powerful act of self-care. So, who are these people who actually enjoy this? The ones who actively seek out solitude? Let's take a look at the traits of what you might call the solitary personality. People who genuinely thrive alone, they share some really fascinating traits. They're often super creative, using that quiet space to let new ideas bubble up. They tend to be deeply self-aware, mainly because they actually take the time to listen to their own thoughts. And this part's so important. It doesn't mean they dislike people. It just means they value a few deep, quality connections way more than a huge circle of casual friends. They're not necessarily shy. They just aren't afraid of their own company. This quote from the solitary heart just nails it. For the solitary heart, being alone is not an absence of others, but a profound presence of self. Think about that for a second. It completely reframes the experience. It's not an empty space that needs filling. It's a full space, and it's occupied by you. Okay, so why do we even crave this space in the first place? Well, it turns out that needing solitude is actually a really fundamental part of being human for a lot of us. You know that feeling when you have way too many tabs open on your computer? Well, think of your brain like that. Solitude is the act of closing those tabs. It's that critical downtime your mind needs to sort through emotions, file away memories, and just recalibrate without the constant noise and input from the outside world. And this chart breaks down the why perfectly. Look at this. The biggest piece of the pie, a full 40%, is just for a mental recharge. Then you've got 30% for creative focus, and the rest is for processing emotions and solving problems. The key takeaway here is that people aren't running from something, they're running to something productive and restorative. Okay, so we know what it is, we know why we need it, but what can it actually do for us? This is where it gets really good. Let's talk about the surprising benefits that solitude can unlock. The proof is pretty hard to ignore. I mean, just look at this chart. The difference is night and day. See those bars for people who regularly get some solitude? Their reported levels of creativity and focus are just significantly higher than those who don't. That quiet time isn't empty at all. It's incredibly productive for your brain. So, how does this magic happen? It's basically a three-step process. First, being alone gives you that precious gift of uninterrupted focus. Second, that freedom lets your mind just wander, making all these cool, unexpected connections. And third, that's where the good stuff happens. Your brain starts putting ideas together in new ways, and boom, that's where those aha moments come from. And if you're a numbers person, get this. A 35% reported increase in problem-solving ability after some quiet, uninterrupted work. That is a massive boost. It just goes to show you, sometimes the best way to crack a tough problem is to step away from all the noise and just be with your own thoughts. This all sounds fantastic, right? But how in the world do we actually do this in our crazy, busy, always-on lives? So in our last section, let's get practical and talk about making solitude work for you. Let's be absolutely crystal clear on the main takeaway. This is not about becoming a hermit and rejecting the world. Not at all. It's about finding balance. By embracing solitude, you actually come back to your social life more centered and self-aware. You strengthen the connection with yourself, so you can build even stronger connections with others. Here are a few dead simple ways you can get started. First, literally schedule alone time in your calendar like it's a meeting. That makes it intentional. Second, try a digital detox. Just put the phone away for a bit to cut down on that constant external noise. And third, try some mindful observation. Go for a walk and just notice what's around you. It's an amazing way to connect with the present moment and with yourself. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. In our world, a world that never logs off, that's always connected and always demanding our attention, maybe the simple act of being truly alone with our own thoughts has become the ultimate and maybe the most essential luxury of all.